Hi, my name is Jay, and this is Metroid Dread. All bosses, no major glitches. Let me introduce my couch real quick. Um, so my three commentators are Charlotte,
Hi.
May or Mayberry,
Hi.
and lillypad.
Hi.
All right, take it away.
Oop, are we gonna start
All right.
countdown?
Yeah, we should.
Okay, I can go ahead. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Going into this first load screen, I'm just going to quickly go over the premise of this game. This game is Metroid 5. It is a direct sequel to Metroid Fusion on the GBA. At this point in the story, Metroids are presumed dead. Same with the X-Parasites. But at one point in time, the Federation and also Samus gets an MP4 of an X being alive. So Samus heads to this planet, tries to take down this X-Parasite. The Federation also sends in their robots called the Enemies. They're made of the strongest stuff in the universe. We get ambushed by Ravenbeak, who's the final boss of this game. And our goal is to escape the planet while also being able to take out these parasites as well as these robots who are made of the strongest stuff in the universe again.
Yeah, and immediately you're going to see some of the movement in this game. Generally, you want to try to reduce airtime as much as possible, so you're going to see Jay, every time they grab a ledge, they're going to tap the B button, and this will cause Samus to quickly hop up. The shorter you hold this, the less airtime you have. Samus moves faster on the ground. You're going to see a lot of that in this room. Also going to be trying to avoid these ledge grabs when possible if you can just clear a ledge outright. Because the ledge grab is still a little bit slower than just clearing it entirely.
So first up, we have the first of the enemies as the broken enemy. There's not really a whole lot to it. Most of the other enemies will chase you around. They're really fast. This one's pretty straightforward. It's kind of a tutorial. We can actually skip it with minor glitches, which are allowed in this category. However, it is considered a boss technically. All of the enemies are, even the ones we don't really fight. So you're going to see the Omega Cannon being used for the first time here. Usually most of the other ones have like a stream to break the faceplate, but because the broken enemy is already broken down, you just shoot a big charge shot and it goes down real fast.
And then coming out of this, we're going to see the first glitch of the run already. It's the pseudo wave beam, and generally you can't shoot through walls in this game, but we can use some manipulation or animation manipulation. By sliding and jumping out of the slide, Samus will be rotated the wrong way for a single frame. We can actually shove her cannon through the ceiling during this specific frame, and the shot will spawn on the other side of the wall, and we can open the shortcut backwards, and this gives us access to the first boss of the run early, which is Corpius. And this is a pretty aim-heavy fight. You need to shoot Corpius's head, and it's going to be moving it up and down every single time you shoot it, so you have to try to track it. And if we miss no more than 4 missiles in the second phase, you can skip an entire third phase here. And Jay is just going to take the third phase here for safety to get the missile refill. And killing this boss will give us the Phantom Cloak ability, which allows us to turn invisible temporarily using the Aeon bar. You can see that on the top left. Recharges slowly over time. The immediate use of it is going to be to go through these sensor lock doors. And the reason why we're doing Corpius now is so we can take these shortcuts through these sensor doors. Much more direct path through the first area. You also see Jay is sliding while doing the Phantom Cloak. Normally it forces you to walk slow, but if you're already doing an animation, that will finish playing out.
Right here, you're seeing the second Adam room of the game. They're just short little cutscenes where you get to talk with Adam, who is our robot companion. We only see a handful of these. There's normally a lot more throughout the entire game. However, a little bit later, we're going to execute some movement that will let us skip every single Adam in the rest of the game.
And then coming up here, you're going to see these sort of like white, like blocky doors. These mark off the Emmy zones for this game, and these are areas where the enemies will wander freely, and if they catch you, you have 2 chances to parry them, otherwise they'll instantly kill you. Now, you might notice that the enemy's not present, and this is because by doing the early cloak pseudo, we've actually skipped the trigger that spawns the enemy for this zone, and we don't have to worry about it at all for Artaria until the very end. Coming up here, you're also going to see water slope skip. By free aiming as you jump off a slope. This will reduce your horizontal momentum. You can also combine this with a phantom cloak, which will reduce it even further. And you can climb up this slope backwards. This saves about 15 seconds, so you don't have to go down, lower the water. Very well done.
Thank you.
And then coming up here, we're going to see the next skip. This is by doing a melee when you jump off the wall. Very similar, reduces your horizontal momentum. You can bonk off that little slope ceiling and spin back towards the ledge, just climb the wall. Normally in this game, you can't wall jump off the same wall again, unlike Super Metroid, but by using some shenanigans like that, we can. You'll see those occasionally throughout this run. And we now have Charge Beam. This is normally the first item, but we're getting it second. Something important about Charge Beam in this game is, in a lot of situations, you can actually skip the charging time by using specific animations. Generally, you want to use spin jumping, but turning around also works, and this allows you to shoot charge beams very quickly. This is a very good source of damage if you combine it with missiles, and this is called using a charge missile. We're going to see that on bosses a little bit later. And for now, we're just heading through the second loop of the game again, so we can probably fit in a donation or two.
Definitely. We have lots of donations coming in, and just as an update, we are 77% of our way to the Screw Attack Glitch exhibition, so get those donations in, because I know that we're going to want to see that. We have $10 from Pocket Jala that says, always have to donate for my favorite series, Metroid.
Probably fit another one.
Okay, great. Well, we have $50 from Anonymous, $5 from Anonymous, $10 from Anonymous, and $25 from Anonymous, all with no comment. Thank you all so much for your generous donations to the National Women's Law Center.
Thank you.
Very nice. So here you're going to see the first thermal door of the run. By sitting on the switch, you can redirect the lava flow, and this will open up thermal doors across the area. This particular one is going to give us access to the central unit for the white Emmy. So generally the loop of this game when it comes to the Emmys is most areas will have an Emmy wandering around, and each Emmy will have a central unit room. And your goal is to find the central unit, defeat it, which will grant you the Omega Cannon and allow you to kill the Emmy, which can then give you an upgrade to progress. So just one more Atom Room, a little bit of movement, and we'll be coming up on that. Probably time for a very quick donation.
Absolutely. We have $50 from Fiona with no comment. Thank you so much.
So here is another trick. This is very similar to the earlier skip with meleeing off the wall. We have to do this to get back over because we haven't broken that shortcut over there, and this is actually the cutscene that would trigger the white Emmy. We're going out of our way to hit it now, because if we don't, after breaking the central unit, the Emmy won't be spawned and we won't be able to kill it, which pretty much just soft locks the game.
You also notice that Jay shot a door as she was going down here. That is because some of the doors in this game, when you shoot them, they are really slow to open. So by shooting them when you're going somewhere else, you'll be able to kind of skip that wait time.
And here you get to see the actual Emmy kill. So we have the Omega Stream now. We're first going to have to shoot the faceplate off the Emmy, which will overheat and then break, and then you can use the Omega Cannon shot, like on the broken Emmy. You need very quick movement to get up to the right position in time. Ideally, unfortunately Jay got a wall jump, so she's going to have to jump over. But ideally, you would be able to break the Emmy's faceplate before it reaches you, and then just never need to jump over, and that would be the fastest kill. This is the next fastest, still pretty fast. Well done.
Thank you.
Part of the reason why Jay got that wall jump is because when you're trying to do the little quick rise where you press B while approaching a ledge, if the ledge is only like a one tile long, like tall ledge, you'll be able to buffer it, but if it's not, then it'll actually prioritize buffering a wall jump rather than a quick rise.
And this,
I didn't know that. Learn something new every day.
And this has given us the spider magnet. This allows us to climb on these walls, climb up them like Superman, or Spider-Man, sorry. But we are going to generally be just wall jumping off of them. This actually allows us to jump back off the same wall, only while using spider magnet. And it also lets us bring down these little sort of like slidable surfaces, and those will be blocking our way. And now we're heading on to the next area now that Artaria's done. Very quick movement up. Jay's movement's looking very good right now. And we're going to be doing a damage boost here. And the goal is to have these little flies in this next room knock us up these platforms so we don't have to ride a rail. So Jay's going to slap this one into the correct position, shoot the other, and then get damage boosted up very clean. That is one of the fastest versions of that.
Thank you.
And while we take this elevator to the next area, we can fit in some more donations.
Great. We have $50 from Gemniant. The runs are speedy, the fatales are frosty, and these prizes are spectacular. As a lawyer trying to help people that need it, how can I not donate to the wonderful National Women's Law Center? Love to everyone that helps make these events happen. Less than 3. We also have $50 from Muriel with no comment. And then we have $10 from no comment that says anonymous.
Very nice.
Fantastic. Thank you all for your support.
So coming up here, this is the last Atom we'll actually talk to during this run. Cataris actually contains the skip that allows us to sort of just let us ignore him. He's going to be very sad about it, but we're happy because he's pretty slow. But we still have some more movement until then. Cataris is a very movement-heavy section. And this is probably a good time to talk more about the movement. Every time we go down a ledge, we're going to want to slide. This saves about maybe like a frame every ledge. Also, if you want to go down a ledge and then move back towards it, you want to run off and then spin back towards it. So you've been seeing that all throughout the run. Just a lot of movement time saves. This is a very, movement optimization game. Here we have another damage boost. Just, very unfortunate, but very good backup using the magnet coming down. Ideally, you want to get boosted up to the top and just skip that magnet rail entirely, but it is what it is.
Sometimes the fly doesn't cooperate.
Yeah. And then we have the first and only heated run of this game. Just quickly making it through here. Something to note about this game's heated damage ticks is they are exponential, so they ramp up over time. And Jay made it through without even losing the first E-Tank, which is very clean. And now we get the first proper encounter with Emmy. Every time you enter the Emmy zone, the Emmy can spawn in several different positions. Dependent on the door, that was one of the better spawns because it's not in your way. But it can spawn on the platform you want to be, so runners need to have a strat for each spawn. And now we're hitting another thermal. Cataris has a lot of these. And coming back through the Emmy zone is probably one of the more significant Emmy spawns in this game. If we get the bad spawn, Jay's going to need very clean movement, hitting that weave there. And you can make it here just in time. When the Emmy hears you, it will freeze in place. And that allows just running through the door without ever being seen. I think we can fit in more donations.
For sure. We have $50 from Anonymous with no comment. We've got $25 from C with no comment, $25 from the End Beta with no comment. And all of these are going towards the National Women's Law Center, but I did want to give us a quick update on that incentive for this run. We have raised $1,660 of that $2,000 that we need to meet. We're at 83%. And so any more donations that will help us get closer to that goal is going to be fabulous. So make sure you get those donations in soon.
So this is the big skip of the run coming now. This is the Atom skip we've been alluding to. The goal is going to be to jump at a very specific position underneath this slope. First try, oh my.
That is so much harder than that looks. That is so much harder than that looks.
That is a near frame perfect. That's very, very well done. And this will, doing that not only gives you a faster route through Cataris, but skips the Atom dialogue for the rest of the game. And the reason why this is because Jay's also doing a quick pseudo here. Shoot that button faster, but the way the Atom stations or programs is the game keeps a flag for which one you should talk to next, and it will only lock the doors for that next Atom station. This shortcut leaves an Atom station unvisited in the upper left section of Cataris, and that means it'll just stay there waiting for us, and we can run through all future Atoms without talking to him. It saves, something in the range of 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes. It's one of the biggest skips in any category.
I have a question, actually. If I go to another Atom station and then, go back to that one, will it lock on me?
I am unsure, actually, if it updates it if you go talk to a different one. It is a slightly complicated system. There are some Atoms you can talk to that will lock anyways, but we don't visit those. So. And here, just pulling down this little magnet wall. Cataris is sort of a maze-like area. You have to open a lot of various doors and double back on yourself. You've seen this area already. We're going to be getting the second E-Tank of this run, and I believe that is the last E-Tank Jay is going to pick up. Because Jay is a gamer.
There's one other one that you can kind of get for safety, but there's really nothing in the game that you're going to require more than 299 health for.
Yeah. And just generally, we're skipping as many pickups as possible because you lose a few seconds every time you pick it up, so you need it to be worth it. Just that pop-up. Just yet another load screen on the way to Dairon. Probably fit a couple more donations.
Definitely. We have $50 from Egg Lemon Soup that says, "Why can't Metroid crawl?"
That's one of my friends.
Wonderful. Why can't Metroid crawl? Is there a reason?
Because we don't have the Morph Ball yet.
Well, then there we go. Wonderful. We also have $50 from Marissa with no comment and $25 from Thomas Quintana with no comment. Thank you all for your generous donations.
Thank you.
So, coming up in the first room in Dairon, you're going to see, again, a similar bit of movement to Water Slope Skip. Using the cloak and free aim to jump off the slope, you can skip crawling around that corner. Pretty nice time save. One of the more minor movement use cases. And you also see, this is a good time to talk about that. Oh, Jay, missing the dash melee. But ideally, you want to dash melee off that ledge to skip landing on the lower one. If you can ever skip landing on a lower ledge, you want to, so you don't have to build up fall speed again. Another case of being on the ground is faster than in the air. And we're in the first dark room section of the game. All the doors are locked until we find a turn on the generator, but they made this one easy. It's right here. And there's light. So we get our next upgrade of the game, which is the wide beam. And it is called wide beam in this game, not Spazer. Sorry, any Super Metroid fans. But this beam is actually the biggest damage upgrade we'll get to the beam in the whole game, because it triples the damage. And it will also allow us to open these little wide beam doors here. See Jay just shooting this robot out of the way. And then there are these wide beam blocks as well, which we can charge shot to push out of the way. Those are actually fairly difficult to hit. If your angle's even slightly off, they just won't move. And this is the yellow Emmy. This is the Emmy of Dairon, but we won't be seeing it for very long. We're just heading back to Cataris now. A little bit of a dash melee over the shutter there. Coming out back to the tram. Pretty short trip to Dairon just to pick up this one upgrade. But we'll be getting something much more important in just a second. Probably fit even more donations.
Fantastic. I wanted to give a quick update. We are $300 away from that Screw Attack glitch exhibition. We're getting so close. Chat, I know that we can make that exhibition. So get your donations in and let's make that happen.
The cool track.
That's really cool.
I really want to see it, so I know we can get that met, and I know chat can help us out. We also have $16.90 from Lucina. Incredible Adam Skip J. Loving this run so far.
Hi.
Good luck and stay frosty.
So immediately coming back into Diron, we're going to be going right over to the green enemy central unit. It's actually right here, locked behind a wide door. That's why we had to hop over to Diron. And you're going to see now Jay is going to be using the charge missiles I was talking about earlier. Again, starting a charge and then spin jumping. You can skip the whole charge animation. And then in second phase, going to be mashing out the beams because you can deal direct damage. I was going to see Jay
That's basically. Takes 7 Charlies or charge missiles to kill the central unit.
And then the green enemy kill here, we're just going to get as close as possible while still being safe. And then just shoot as it's climbing up. You're going to see if you break the faceplate while it's doing another animation, it will finish that animation before it starts setting up, so we can charge the charge shot even sooner and kill it pretty safely there. That's a surprisingly easy strat. You can try that one at home even. Show off to your friends.
I recommend. This is a great party trick game. There's so much you can do.
So this is the morph ball. There's a lot of little nuances to the way we're going to be using this for the rest of the game. One of the big things is that the morph ball moves fairly slowly. So whenever possible, we're going to prefer to slide and then morph into holes if we're able to. It allows us to use the sliding speed rather than the rolling speed, which is much faster. You can also we have spring ball right at the start, which is also really nice. And anytime we're falling any significant distance, we're going to want to be in morph ball because you get to your fastest fall speed faster in morph ball form. There's some other tricks which we'll talk about as they come up.
But a little minor optimization in this room, just shoot those bugs with the charge beam. You also see Jay actually skipping that missile plus there. We don't actually need it, so there's a more direct one later. We only need like 50 missiles or so, a little bit more. So there would be 2 other ones more direct in the path. Grabbing this one now would make the cycle with the bugs kind of annoying, and it's just not necessary, so. But going through Red Teleportal, this takes us back to Artaria, and this is where we can find the Varia suit after some movement. Coming out of Red TP, we're just gonna be moving through the water, and moving through the water, ideally you want to be sort of spamming jumps. Every time you jump, you save a little bit of time. It's even faster if you do it in Morph Ball, and also morphing off of ledges underwater gives you a boost forward for some reason. Not sure why, but... And this room, there's a little shortcut you probably didn't know about, and unfortunately not getting the little boost there. If you slide morph through that tunnel at the right time, you don't lose any speed. And
huge.
Oh, wow. Got the charge shot. That's a pretty specific angle, actually. This is the...
Harder than some pseudos, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the little, like, Varia collapse sequence. A lot of these pieces are going to be... There's a lot of invisible triggers that cause different pieces to move in this section. So a lot of good movement in this is kind of knowing where to trigger these. Like, for example, right here, running just far enough left to make that fall. And then getting a perfect unmorph, you get dragged down with those pieces. Very, very nice.
Another instance of trying to stay on the ground as much as possible for our movement.
Get the Varia suit. Looks very good in this game. It's got some white mixed in. I love it.
So nice.
Kind of reminds me of a certain blue and black dress.
You see,
So there's an instance of... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, this section has a lot of charge doors. In that room, you saw Jay trying to shoot that door open as soon as possible since it opens slow. And here you can like abuse the wide beam to kill the ply with one shot of it and shoot the door with the other 2. And now we're heading back to an old friend, but we have one more load screen we can probably fit some donations in.
Great. I have $50 from Churlington Beescoat III Esquire that says, always gotta donate during Dreadtroid runs. The game is a unique joy to see in motion, and speed tech elevates it to poetry. Also, the Ravenbeak fight is one of the most anime things I have ever seen in a game.
It's true.
We also have $50 from LAN. GDQ events are the warm-hearted checkpoint I look forward to throughout the year. Let's do everything we can to extend Frost Fatales, and with that in mind, make sure you get that Screw Attack Glitch Exhibition donation in. We're up to 87%. We don't have very much to go.
It's gonna be great.
So yeah, you can see how little damage the little rock guys here are doing. 299 health is honestly overkill for this part of the game, and it's definitely going to be enough to get us through the entire game.
But now we're up to that old friend. It's a returning favorite, Mr. Kraid here. Gonna be trying to charge missile him immediately. He does take half damage at the start while he's roaring, but we can just get so much damage in. He'll ideally die in the middle of this attack. You can see actually how difficult charge missiles are to do optimally. And here's the single wall jump. By morphing as you wall jump, you can actually continue to jump off the same wall. Some of the shenanigans that were mentioned earlier. It's surprisingly, well, not surprisingly, but it is very difficult to do. You have to time that morph ball perfectly. If you're even a frame off, you'll not get the full height and have to spend more jumps. So that was pretty clean. And Jay's having a great time here. You see we're actually skipping those counters. If you played this game, you know the bosses will throw out specific attacks you can counter and do a cool cinematic, but it turns out for some reason the developers made it so you deal less damage during those sequences, so we don't want to take them. And this gives us the diffusion beam.
It was a very clean Kraid fight, by the way.
That was a very clean Kraid fight. So now we can shoot some of these blobs through the walls. Not too far. There's still going to be some that we will need pseudos for. See more of those soon. But now we're taking a purple teleportal. This takes us right back to where we want to be in Dyron. You might know, if you know a little bit about this game, you might know about the early bombs kill you can do on Kraid, where you go and you get bombs before, and then you can travel back to Kraid and skip the second phase entirely. And you might think, well, that's a quick kill. Why isn't that faster? The reason is because we have to take a very long detour all the way through Cataris, all the way through Dyron, and then all the way back. It loses several minutes, unfortunately, as cool as it is.
Before we do early bombs, we're actually going to be going out of our way to get the grapple beam. This will let us do a few little small skips, but it's also just generally faster routing. What we're going to be doing is going into this long room. We're going to do something called a coyote jump or a slide jump, where essentially you slide off of a ledge, and then for a few frames after you slide off of a ledge, the game is programmed so that you're still able to jump. And so by doing that, you're able to get into that tunnel and then make it all the way over to this other side of the room. And that gives us a very convenient transport to the grapple beam.
Yeah, this is one of the dev-intended sequence breaks in this game. They put in a lot of these. It's one of the cooler things about this game, in my opinion. You can get a lot of items out of order, and it's all intended. There's a lot of shortcuts they've put around in this game that are only useful if you do early grapple beam, really. And we'll get to see the benefits of it. This saves quite a bit of time in this category. And also I want to say a small correction, not a couple frames. If you slide off a ledge, you can jump for pretty much the entire duration of the slide. It's maybe upwards of a second.
Sure, yeah.
But here's the grapple beam. Also one of the cooler items in this game, just in general. They've given it a lot of improvements compared to previous entries. It's generally a lot faster to use. You can pull these grapple blocks, there's grapple doors. Swinging is just a lot quicker. You can use it on these spider magnet walls, and you can even jump out of the grapple beam to get very large boosts. It's a very momentum-based ability, and there's a lot of skill expression you can do with it. But now we're just heading on to Bombs of Dyron, so we have some movement. We'll be going back through the early grapple room, and you'll see Jay is going to do it backwards. Normally, there's a little grapple shortcut you can take above to go back through, but it's actually faster to just do it backwards, and it's going to look a little bit scary. And because the entire bottom is covered in lava, and falling down there, you will not be able to make it out in time. You'll just die. So jumping off the slope to get back in the tunnel, and then by unmorphing and doing a jump at the same time, you can make it right to the sledge and not even touch the lava. Very well done. Then you'll now see this is the first atom that we get to just run through. That's thanks to Atom Skip. Just won't be stopping us anymore. Every time we run through one of those... Every time we run through one of those atom stations, we're saving, 20 seconds or so. And here is one of those grapple shortcuts. You can, again, unmorph and jump in the air. That's the coyote jump. It's a lot tighter if you're not sliding off the ledge, but you can still do it. And this is the second and last dark section of the run. This one's also pretty short, but it's got a couple more rooms. And stepping on this generator switch, Jay's going to try to shoot this blob and destroy it before. Very nice. It's much quicker than trying to shoot it after. Just saves a little bit of time, minor optimization. And then heading back into this next room, we'll get bombs. In other Metroid games, you're probably a little bit accustomed to infinite bomb jumps being useful, but we don't really use bomb jumps much in this game. We have a lot of ways to climb walls, and just generally the levels aren't designed in a way where they're useful, I'd say. So the main use of them is going to be to destroy bomb blocks and also use these morph ball launchers, which can take us through little direct paths through areas. We don't technically need these to get to Aranea because of a grapple shortcut you'll be seeing in the next room, but we're going to need bombs later anyways, so we're picking them up.
Yeah, the one advanced technique for the morph ball bombs that we're going to be using, which you'll see in this next area, is the water bomb jump, where effectively the game doesn't want you to do multiple bomb jumps while you're underwater, but you can trick the game into thinking that it's your initial bomb jump, basically, by doing a grounded bomb jump and then canceling it and then jumping as unmorphed Samus laying a bomb and then jumping off of that bomb.
Yeah.
I will be using that to do a few little shortcuts in this next area.
I think this is a good time to fit anything else the host wants to say.
Of course. We have $25 from Mobile Sprout that says Metroid Gaming. And we also have $15 from Manager that says Jay is an incredible speedrunner and I'm so proud to be her friend. Keep killing those bosses and congrats on a clean first try Atom Skip.
Thank you, Manny.
Doing you proud.
Thanks, Manny.
That it was so incredibly clean. It's just fantastic. And a quick update on the Screw Attack Glitch exhibition. We're 88% of the way there. We are getting so close. So make sure to get in your donations and go down and click the incentive so that we can see that met.
Oh, wrong section.
You're thinking a little bit later.
Yep.
So here's one of those grapple shortcuts that was mentioned. This skips going around through a fairly long water section. You're also seeing Jay doing a sliding cloak that just manipulates that enemy's AI, so we don't need to bump into it. And Aranea is probably the biggest advantage we're going to get from early grapple. Just a lot of, unfortunately falling down. Those enemies, they suck you in very hard. But you'll see Jay using a lot of micro optimizations with the grapple. You can pull yourself a lot of short distances just to save time here and there. And then there's also like the grapple block earlier, but coming in up in a second, Jay's going to do one of the only infinite bomb jumps in this run, and this is a backdoor flash. By timing these bomb jumps perfectly, you can just hover above this platform and wait for it to open back up. And that was very, very clean.
Nice.
And this gives us the flash shift, one of the new items for Dread. This allows us to basically dash in the air up to 3 times. This also uses the Aeon bar, so it shares the bar with the cloak, but this one recharges very quickly. And we can flash 3 times before we have to wait for it to recharge. Coming up in this room, we're going to see some more pseudo waves. These are going to be using different animation abuses. This first one is going to use the fact that if you crouch and then morph, Samus turns around for a single frame, and that will push her cannon through the wall. Gonna wait for this enemy or just gonna kill the enemy. And then this is another one. This is using a pause buffer. If you if you turn around like this and then shoot at the perfect time, and we use the pause buffer to make it easier, you can get the cannon through for a single frame. And this is the water bomb jump. That was the sort of thing Charlotte was talking about earlier, where you can trick the game into letting you do bomb jumps underwater. And that happens because the game technically sees Samus and the Morph Ball Samus as different entities. So the flag that says whether you can bomb jump doesn't get reset when you unmorph. And by jumping, you can place the bomb higher and bomb jump higher than you should, and that skip's just going around there. That'll be used for another skip that's a little bit bigger later on, but for here, it's just a minor movement optimization. And we'll be heading on to the Yellow ME Central unit now. We didn't see it too much earlier, luckily. We got good spawns. So this will probably be well, this is the only time you'll get to see it. And in this room, it is guaranteed to spawn up there. So just jumping in Morph Ball to move quickly through the water. That guarantees that it climbs over to the left. And then we're just going to leave it behind because we're way too fast for it.
Can I jump in with a quick update?
Yeah.
Sure.
We have met that glitch attack exhibition.
Let's go.
Huge.
Very nice. It's very early in the run.
So you're seeing more of the charge missiles in this central unit fight. The Emmy fight afterwards is one of the slightly more scary ones. Jay is going to be doing a little bit of platforming to get onto this platform very, very quickly after they exit the room. And then we are going to be trying to shoot the Emmy right as it comes out of its little hole. If you do it properly, you can get it pretty much right as it comes out of its hole before it extends beyond this platform. If you miss any shots, it actually moves extremely fast. It's much, much faster than any of the other Emmys up to this point, I think, overall. So, very clean kill, though.
Yeah, that was incredibly clean. And this will give us the Speed Booster ability. There's a lot of Speed Booster in this game. It's another heavily improved item compared to previous games. Mainly, we're going to be able to do more actions without the Speed Booster stopping. So you can run to charge it, and then you start running quickly. Unlike previous Metroid games, we can morph and keep doing the Speed Booster. We can wall jump. We can do all kinds of things. And this is generally referred to by the community as speed keeping because you keep the Speed Booster going. You can also store the Shine Spark and Shine Spark into the slopes to start running again. And that's going to be one of the bits of movement here, storing the Shine Spark, very quickly getting up and doing it back into the slope. Here, there's a little cutscene if you were to Shine Spark up, but by going into the ball form and then Shine Sparking, you actually skip that animation, saves like a second maybe. And just a little bit more running through. You can see how you can just jump. You can pretty much do whatever you want and keep the Speed Booster going. It's very nice. And this elevator is going to take us to a quick little detour to speak to a good friend of ours. Hope he's doing okay.
Me too.
We could probably fit in a quick donation.
Sure. We have $250 from Anonymous. Thank you so much. No comment,
so
but that is huge. Thank you. We also have $25 from Anonymous and $100 from Anonymous. Thank you for your generous contributions. We really appreciate it.
So coming up here, this is Fernia. We're going to have a quick trip through here, but in this earlier section, we're going to try to attempt a speed keep. Getting the Shine Spark store here, unfortunately messing up the movement, so it's going to drop. But ideally, you would want to keep it through this room, just with good movement, and then you would be able to spark that slope and jump past this flash shutter rather than needing to flash over. And then this is the first chosen robot of the run, so Jay is going to be getting hit by this on purpose. Oh, unfortunately, missing the Spark store, but the idea is to try to store Shine Spark and hit the boss with it. Unlike previous entries, you can hit bosses with Shine Spark in this game, and it does a lot of damage. To this particular boss, it does 50% of its health exactly, so 2 Shine Sparks will kill it. Oh.
Our good
alright,
friend Quiet Robe died during the cutscene skip, by the way.
Oh yeah, forgot to mention that. But very good backups on that. You can just bait that guy up there and then run on the bottom, get it nice and easy. And then Speed Booster also lets us run past these fans and just wall jump up and break those blocks. Very much a little short and sweet speed keep there.
Yeah, that one's nice because not only are you able to change from Samus to Morph Ball mid-air and keep your speed, but that causes the blocks under you to break instantly, and then you're already in Morph Ball, so you're getting the faster fall speed as well.
Yeah, that's one of the cooler ones that just like combines all those little bits at once. Very nice. And that little trip has concluded, and now we're just heading back to Dyron. So what actually happened up there in Fernia is we skipped a like 6-minute cutscene where we meet one of the only like choices ever, Samus talks. It's a really great cutscene, but it's way too long. And what Quiet Rib did for us was he activated all the Emmys, how nice, and he opened a gate in Verenia for us. So we're heading back to Verenia now, and you see Jay's just using Speed Booster, Flash Shift, getting through this quickly. These little tunnels have now opened that we've killed the Emmy. These are normally the tunnels that the Emmy crawls through. Very nice there on the Flash Shift chain, using a little damage boost off the enemy. Very nice getting in that hole. That's genuinely pretty difficult to make it in that hole without falling. It's a very clean section overall. And
I think now would be another good time for a donation.
yeah.
Sure. I did want to mention that there are some new incentives open for Frog Mode coming up later today. For Haunting Ground later today with Frog Mode. If met, Miss Scarlet Tanager will don the frog costume for Fiona and put Huey in the adorable toy dog costume. That is a $2,000 goal, and we're already 2% in so fast. So thank you for those donations. So make sure to click your incentives at the bottom of your donations for that. And also for our Chrono Cross run, you can donate for some bid wars too, which are to name different characters that are going to be part of the Chrono Cross run. So the main protagonist, the knight of the Chrono Cross run, the childhood friend, the spunky sidekick, and the giant pink dog. So make sure to get your donations in for that if you want to see some really, really fun names come up for that Chrono Cross run. And do we have time for one quick donation?
We do need to talk about this upcoming boss.
No problem. Go right ahead.
So coming up here, this is Dragaiga. This is the little underwater boss. Normally this boss is damage gated, and normally what you're gonna do is shoot the tentacle up top. This will make it open up, and you can shoot the eye to actually deal damage. And this is damage gated to force you to shoot the tentacle twice and lower the water and everything. But our goal is going to be to one cycle it, and the way you can do this is by running into Dragaiga. It turns out if you run into the boss, it actually delays the eye from closing, and you can get more damage in than you should be able to. And by repeating this over and over again, you can just delay it long enough to just completely bypass the damage gate. I think that should work. Very nice, very nice.
We're in good
Also
shape
came
for
out of that
Robo,
fight with really
too.
good resources. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very good. It's very easy to come out of that fight with low missile counts or low energy, and that's going to be a problem because immediately after this elevator is another boss fight where you need a lot of missiles.
Yeah, you can beat that boss without that little counter coming up. However, in this category, we take that counter because counters actually give you some resources, missiles, and health, and there's a boss immediately right here, so we can avoid taking a total recharge station.
Yeah, and it is very easy to drain your health because the more you damage boost, the more damage you take, and that boss actually does a surprising amount of contact damage. So it's a bit of a balancing act. But Jay did it pretty much perfectly. Can't really do any better than that. So coming up here, gonna open the grapple door, just get a quick little speed booster to run up this slope. That's another advantage of speed booster. And pulling this grapple block. This grapple block has actually locked us into Gavrin for the time being, but that's okay because we want to be here anyways. We can, like with the previous Chosen Robot, Shine Spark it. That takes off 50% of its health, but we can't actually find enough space to get another one in this arena, so we have to missile it. So you're going to see how this boss was meant to be played, but Jay's doing it very quickly because she's a gamer.
You can see that we used about 30 missiles, so if we had a low missile count, that would be a really problematic fight.
And then running past here, you can see on the right, the blue enemies just kind of hanging out in that little hangar. Quiet Robe was nice enough to disable them for us. So, don't have to worry about that. Pretty nice, so don't have to deal with any more enemies. Be a shame if they turn back on. Foreshadowing. But here is the super missile room. So we now have super missiles. Like wide beam tripled our beam damage, this triples our missile damage. The catch this time though is super missile actually reduces the fire rate, so the damage doesn't really increase much. It's mainly just more ammo efficient. But we're grabbing it so we can open up these super missile doors. This will give us access to next area. See Jay's using the diffusion beam there to hit all those enemies at once. And it loops us back to where we were. That flipper is open now. And then just a quick damage boost off that enemy. If you jump into it while you're in iframes, you get a much bigger boost. I think the game just wants you to get out of it so you don't continuously take damage, but we can use that to our advantage because we're speedrunners. This will take us to the smallest area in the game, Elan. It's like a quick trip. We're just gonna grab one item, and I'm sure nothing bad will happen in here.
A lot of things in this game have ridiculous, and sometimes we can use that too.
Yeah, you can get a lot of knockback from enemies. It's something I really enjoy about this game, just all the little damage boost strats. So coming up in Elan, there's going to be immediately a cutscene. We're just going to skip, and then take this little secret, well, not super secret hidden path, but I take a morph launcher. And if you are a fan of the series, you're probably familiar with what we're going to be seeing in a second. These are the X-Parasites. Surprise, they're still alive, and now they're going to be everywhere. So this changes quite a bit about the game. Most enemies are now upgraded from this point on. They're going to be enhanced versions. There's new enemies like these little goop guys. And instead of dropping normal ammo drops, they're going to be dropping little X-Parasites, which we have to catch. They're pretty annoying. They make it harder to get health refills if you need it, just because they don't fly towards you. But the reason why we came here is to get the plasma beam. This adds a two times damage multiplier to our beam and allows us to open plasma doors. It also lets us shoot. Oh, unfortunately dropping the speed keep there. Plasma beam also lets us shoot a lot of bosses without needing charge shots. So we can now take advantage of the fact that this game actually doesn't have a fire rate cap on normal shots. You're going to see Jay's shooting extremely fast here, and Jay's actually using a turbo controller to do this. Metroid Dread allows turbo controllers for health-related reasons. We don't want people to be required to mash and hurt themselves. And it's overall a pretty minor part of the game. Charged missiles are also faster in a lot of places, but once you get Plasma Beam against some bosses like this guy, you just want to spam out those beams for the best DPS. We're just going to be leaving Elan. You're going to see here Jay's going to Shine Spark and shoot the door mid Shine Spark. That's because you can actually hold a charge beam while Shine Sparking, and if you press the missile button, it will shoot it even though you're in the middle of something you normally can't shoot. And that's called a Spark Shot. We don't get to see many of those, but they're one of the cooler things in this game. This game has a lot of cool things, I think.
This is a longer load screen. Be a good time for donations.
Absolutely. We have $25 from Liquid Schwartz that says, I'm loving Frost Fatales so far and had to donate when Metroid, my favorite series, is on. Good luck and thank you to Jay and all of the runners. We also have $10 from Moon that says, I want to see the toy frog costume combo. And just as a reminder, for Haunting Ground, there is a new incentive that's open for frog mode. And for that, in case you wanted to know, if it's met, Miss Scarlet Tanager will don the frog costume for Fiona and put Huey in the adorable toy dog costume. So thank you for your donation towards that already.
So here you see the blue Emmy. You might notice it has a very long cone of vision, and this Emmy actually can't see you and chase you. All it will do is shoot you and freeze you, but we get past it just fine. And here is another water bomb jump. This is early ice missiles. This skips us needing to go and get a jump upgrade to get across that water. Oh,
This room is very mean. It can be pretty tight, so if you miss one jump, you're falling all the way back down.
Yeah, this enemy is pretty mean, and these platforms just fall, and it's the worst if you mess it up. But this will take us right to the central unit for Ice Emmy, and we got the good spawn. It can actually spawn right down there and just freeze you, and it sucks. And here we can use Shine Spark to actually just skip the first phase of the central unit very fast. And there's a little bit of new... Go ahead.
I was going to say, you also saw Jay shoot a door on the way into this area, and that's going to be necessary for a manipulation that we're doing here. We're going to be using the Shine Spark and then ASM Flash Shifts. This will guarantee that the Ice Emmy is crawling on top of the ceiling as soon as we get into position, and then it's going to be very similar to the Speed Emmy kill, right down to the very fast movement if you actually accidentally miss any shots.
Yeah, and for this one, it actually will just run off screen and you can't really see where it's going. It's really hard to back it up if you mess it up. It's very well done. Coming out of that central unit, you do actually need to do the speed booster to get that full manip on the AI. If you don't speed booster out, it will see that you're below and it'll just crawl down, and it's a really long path. You don't want that to happen. This gives us ice missiles though. So now we can freeze little platforms. We can deal a very slight damage increase. It's not a lot, but it is a notable damage increase. And most importantly, we can shoot these little fire vine things called Enkies, and this will give us access to just where we need to go next. Coming up here is an interesting trick. This is the ledge warp. So this is again using the fact that the game sees unmorphed Samus and morphed Samus as different entities. So if you do the little mantle animation where Samus climbs up on the ledge and then morph exactly 2 frames before that happens, it will like sort of buffer that animation, and because it's storing the position of it separately, because they're separate entities, we can actually just grab this item, and since we need to go back over there anyways, we can then unmorph, and it will let the animation play out, and we will teleport right back out. Saves a lot of time. And the reason why we went to get spin boost is not because we need that upgrade, but because it spawns this boss, picking up that item, and now this boss is here, and we're gonna Shine Spark it. It's gonna do a funny little tumble on the ground, and that skips phase 1. And it's just beam mashing the second half of it. Very nice.
Thank you.
Hit the ledge warp, hit the Shine Spark. And this is one of the conditions to fulfill all bosses. Of course, normally you would skip that boss. But honestly, that Shine Spark's cool, so we don't mind. And now we're going to head back up normally. Rather than doing ledge warp, we're just going to morph through like normal. And you're going to see another trick here. Abusing the fact that you can actually gain height underwater with the spin boost. The spin boost gave us a second jump. And normally underwater, you can only keep the same height with it. Oh, very nice.
Nice.
But by rubbing that slope, you can actually gain the height when you shouldn't be able to. And that's actually extremely tight to get up that ledge. You have to rub it just the tiniest amount, and you have to jump with perfect timing.
Yeah, this is because the game tries to make it so you don't get like caught on every little tiny corner. So if you just barely graze a corner, it kind of tries to like move you a little bit to get past it.
Yeah, it's sort of a leniency mechanic. Like if you fall for a while, they want you to be able to jump back up to the height you were. But, you know, if you bump into a ceiling, it's like, oh, we need to let you get back up, and you can just use that to go even higher.
Mm-hmm.
So coming up, this is what we mainly wanted ice missiles for. There's a little shortcut here we could take, and you might have done this little thing for 100%, but we're doing this sooner, and this is another one of the dev-intended sequence breaks. You can come through here and do a very cool Shine Spark trick. We're going to store Spark, break those blocks at the same time, Spark it to this slope, store another Shine Spark, skip this second slope, and then Shine Spark through. And what this has done is this has taken us directly to where Gravity Suit is, much faster than you would otherwise be able to do it. And normally they actually want you to have space jump by this point, but that little height abuse that Jay did earlier skipped the space jump requirement. So just a couple blobs. We're gonna pull this thing, and this is gonna drop this, whatever this thing is, that breaks the floor, and we can just go and grab Gravity Suit a lot earlier than we would have otherwise been able to. Very clean section.
Thank you.
And this suit honestly looks amazing. It's... They really did so well on like the suit design in this game. Got all the cool shoulder spikes, she's got like little claws and stuff. I love how it looks.
Great.
So
we were doing a... oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you got it.
Okay, I was just going to say we were doing a Shine Spark to get up here. We're going to be taking the elevator back down to Artaria. We're going to need to get Screw Attack and fight a few bosses. This is also going to trigger an event in the game called Frozen ZDR. Effectively, most of the doors in the game are going to be closed. The whole area is going to be covered in ice, and there's going to be some other enemies that aren't normally there. We're going to be going through it. It's kind of more linear than the first time through Artaria because of all the closed doors that are just frozen shut.
Yeah, and we're doing this to get the Screw Attack. We've actually been locked into taking this elevator because there's nowhere else for us to go. One of like the little clever tricks I do in this game. You can actually see Screw Attack is right over there, but we can't get it until we unfreeze everything. Well, we can't get it quickly. There is actually another dev intended sequence break to go get Screw Attack while it's frozen, but it loses several minutes. You have to pretty much backpack the whole area twice. So here we're going to be Soaring Spark, yet another Chozo Warrior. This one actually has a shield in phase 1, but you never get to see it because Shine Sparking it just breaks it immediately. It's very appreciated to be able to Shine Spark this one. So you cannot damage it while that shield is up. And then...
Clean fight.
Very clean. And then we're gonna enter the sort of speed keep gauntlet here. And so Frozen Artaria is pretty much entirely just a sequence of speed keeps. Oh,
no.
Very nice.
Accidentally
Very
picking up the E
nice.
part there. Won't even get any benefit for that. You need 4 of them. But just here, just got speed keep. Oh, fortunately dropping
Nope,
it.
lost it.
It's okay.
Yeah, one of the few things that does actually break your speed in this game is firing a shot while in midair. So
Yeah.
if you press it a little bit too early before you land, then you can actually end up breaking your speed.
Here we're gonna get another Shine Spark, and we're gonna Ball Spark through this little hole, and this will destroy this enemy, so we can immediately start start charging another one. Just gonna wall jump up to all these little tiny ledges, and then store the Shine Spark, and we can Shine Spark right through this guy, and also get up to the top. And here you're gonna see there's a little gap below at the bottom of that room, and that is a gap where if we fall in it, it will instantly kill us. And the reason for this is because when we did early cloak, we actually skipped lowering some water. And the way that this game works is if you ever go out of bounds, it kind of just instantly kills you. And this was something they did to try to prevent people from, you know, just going out of bounds and doing whatever they wanted. But because we didn't lower that water, it thinks there should be water there, and it thinks it should be frozen into ice. And even though there's no collision there, the little out of bounds check is still there. So if we fall down there, it just instantly kills us. And there's an entire joke category in this game dedicated to dying in that as fast as possible. But for our purposes, we just want to avoid it.
So we just have another load screen and then a little bit of Catalyst before the next boss fight if you want to read a donation.
Absolutely. We have $50 from Skiles with no comment, and also $50 from Marissa with no comment. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
So coming up in here in Catalyst, we're gonna head down the little shaft here. This is quicker than the first time, but in here now, one of the rooms we went through earlier is actually secretly the home to a boss. And I'm gonna skip this missile pickup and, oh, I'm sorry. Shouldn't have said anything. But we're gonna take this morph launcher up here, and then this will take us to Experiment Z57. This boss is a little bit RNG dependent, only by a few seconds, but it can do 2 attacks. It can either spit on the ground or do this attack, the claws, and every time it does the claws, you lose time because it's invincible during the attack. Oh, double claws.
2 in a row, it's really unlucky.
Yeah, that's as unlucky as you can get it. Should do the spit now so we can just get as much damage out as possible. Hopefully it won't be too much of a problem. CJ using charge missiles again. Just standing in the little gaps, continuously jumping. This phase, you have to shoot the little appendages on the walls, and if you don't destroy them in time, Z57 will recover some health. But because we managed to destroy them all, it's going to immediately go into this section where this fan starts and these things come out of the wall. And again, with fans, we can charge Speed Booster, and charging Speed Booster here will let us hit Z57 with it and instantly kill it, skipping the rest of the fight. That boss is actually coded to take 100% of its health from Shine Spark. So in other categories with more glitches allowed, you can actually Shine Spark it directly from the start and skip it entirely. But for us, we have to wait until the second half of it. And now that Z57 is dead, the world has unfrozen because Z57 was kind of holding on to the generator that keeps all the heaters going. And we can go over here to the blue teleportal, and this will take us right back to Artaria, right next to Screw Attack. Very convenient. And this is just going to be a couple more load screens, so we can fit in, like, some donations, yeah.
Great. I have $25 from Anonymous that just says, smiley face. $10 from Anonymous that says, comment, comment, comment. No, don't read. Oh, you already did. And I also have $25 from Anonymous that says, maybe comment. Keep all of these fabulous donations coming. These are great.
You can probably read a couple more.
Sure. We have a lot of anonymous donations with no comment coming in. We've got $25 from Anonymous, $5 from Anonymous, $100 from Anonymous, $10 from Anonymous, $35 from Anonymous, $25 from Anonymous. Thank you so much for your generous contributions to the National Women's Law Center.
Wow. So now we have the Screw Attack. This is a pretty simple ability. It's just going to let us break these Screw Attack blocks, and it's also going to allow us to pretty much insta-kill most enemies and also deal a lot of damage to bosses. Just whenever you jump, you get to deal a lot of damage while you're jumping. But now we're just heading back to Aranea, and it's just another load screen, so we can put in probably a couple more donations.
Great, because I have many donations to go through. More no comment donations, but we have $10 from Dylan, $50 from Win/$50 from Steven, $25 from Word, and $25 from Itzy, all benefiting the National Women's Law Center. So thank you so much. Also, brief reminder, wanted to note that Haunting Ground Frog Mode incentive is open if you'd like to put some of your donation towards that incentive.
So you see Jay has now picked up the last missile plus tank of the run. 58 missiles is pretty much all we need. We're going to do a quick little bomb jump here. And get up here, and this is going to take us to a double Chozo robot. So because we have Plasma Beam, we can shoot them directly. And we can also try to line them up, if possible, and double up some damage. It is a little difficult to keep them in the right place and keep dealing damage to them, so you have to take compromises sometimes. Jay's doing a very good job on this, though. Very nice. Just kept them on the top platform the whole time. And just going to head back to Green Teleportal. We've kind of taken another big loop right back to where we started, but now we have Gravity Suit and Screw Attack, and these are the last two items we need to kind of do our final cleanup. Just going to go grab a couple more items and then head on to the end.
Yeah, it's really just a gauntlet of boss fights at this point, really. The next one up is Golzuna. It's like the big crab guy. It comes in 3 phases. Now, the first phase is just going to be some beam mash, but then every other phase, we're going to be wanting to do Shine Spark. This is very difficult because the arena is not that big, but there is a setup that Jay is very practiced in, and hopefully we'll see a 4-spark Golzuna.
Yeah, the arena is pretty big, but the boss just takes up such a large part of the arena. You actually can't really get a Shine Spark charge unless it's in the very corner. So ideally you want to get it immediately. So you're going to see shooting it immediately, doing the speed booster charge to kill it at just the perfect time, get the spark, and then you're going to want to spark this so it jumps to the side and gives you just enough room to get another Shine Spark. And then as it jumps up, you can hit its weak point, and then one more Shine Spark will kill the core X here. And that was extremely clean.
Very, very nice. That boss That boss can
perfect.
be very scary if you do miss the speed booster, because this boss
Yeah.
can hurt. It hits very, very hard.
It
It's
hits
not
very
uncommon
hard.
to die.
You lose a lot of time. But now we have the cross bombs, and these sort of go off in a cross pattern, and we can use them to launch ourselves across these pitfall blocks. These items are a little bit annoying. You saw Jay actually laid a normal bomb when coming into the first tunnel, and that was not Jay's fault. That is because the cross bombs are programmed badly, and sometimes you just can't lay one. It'll force you to lay a normal bomb, and it sucks.
Yeah, we all love this game, but we can all agree that the cross bombs are not super well implemented.
Yeah. And cross bombs actually are secretly a damage upgrade because they deal as much damage as a missile. So we'll see that coming in handy a little bit later, but keep that in mind that they actually do a pretty big amount of damage. So this is Hanubia. This is the area that takes us to the end of the game. And this actually contains our ship that we need to get off the planet, but we can't get there right now. So for now, we're just going to head through here, spark shot that door. The last spark shot you'll see. Use cross bombs. And here you'll see a reverse grapple. This is another type of pseudo using called a double turnaround slide. By sliding into the wall and then turning around twice, you can shove the cannon through just far enough to get a pseudo. And in this case, it allows you to grab the grapple block from the wrong side and break it anyways, and it looks very funny. But that's a quick little shortcut. You skip a little morph maze. And that is the only reverse grapple we'll see this run, and also the only DT slide. Now we're just heading back down to Aranea.
Yeah, you see a little bit more of them in other categories, but we have to fight all the bosses anyway.
It's
here,
mainly
so.
used for boss skips. So we're heading into Aranea here. This has the 2 of the last 3 items we need to beat the game. So we're going to be picking up the storm missiles and then the wave beam, the real wave beam finally. No need for a fake wave beam anymore. And just going to see some movement across this big room, kind of abusing the ceilings that you can use to like push you down. And in this Emmy zone, we're going to try to do a speed keep, but the Emmy can spawn in your way. So luckily no spawn, it would have spawned right before that door, and Jay would have had to jump over with specific timing, but it was nice enough. Then we're going to head right back into the Emmy zone again, and the Emmy will be kind of beneath us, trying to shoot us, but we're way too fast for it, so it's ideally not going to catch us. But sometimes it can get you, it can be a little mean. And then heading through, back out of the Emmy zone again, and then using this little missile shortcut, and we're going to head into SQ. This is a boss that is kind of notoriously annoying casually, but we have screw attacks, so we can damage it directly. That's actually intended, part of doing Gravity Suit early. You get to trivialize this boss. We're going to Shine Spark it immediately off the bat. On the right side, so it gets knocked left, sort of get stuck on the side and repeatedly screw attack it. You can then screw attack the Core X twice before its iframes kick in, and that allows you to only need to wait on the iframes once. So that's a 2-phase Core X. That's an extremely clean SQ. Very well done.
Thank you.
And something I do want to note about the Emmy zone for this area, I mentioned early grab helps you trivialize SQ. It also helps you trivialize the purple Emmy here. Normally you don't have Gravity Suit for this section, so the Emmy is actually faster than you and will just kind of chase you down, but because we have Gravity Suit, we can just run through the water without a problem and it won't be able to catch us. And then using a little damage boost there to get up past the little firewall that normally blocks you. And we have the storm missiles now, so we can, you saw these earlier, but you can shoot these locks and open these little blocks. And the storm missiles actually do a pretty good amount of damage, but unfortunately they're slow because you have to do the charge up timing, so we're not going to use them outside of specific situations. Once again, sparking the enemy, sparking the gold one because it has more health, and then just doubling them up, trying to get as much damage on both as possible. And
They were very cooperative.
they were extremely cooperative.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other thing about these storm missiles is that they will fire in flurries of 3 per lock, but the total flurry does not do 3 missiles worth of damage. So not only are they slow because of the charge up time, they're also a bad missile efficiency.
Yeah, they're really only good if you need to get burst damage out, which will be useful sometimes.
We will be
but-
seeing.
And this is the last sort of a storm block we need to open, so they're just going to be for damage from now on. And we're heading up to the central unit for the wave enemy. So it's going to be trying to shoot us, but again, we're too fast because we have, well, you're supposed to have gravity suit for this section. It's actually why we grabbed gravity suit, so we can get through this. Trying to shoot these blobs as quickly as possible. If possible, you want to double up the shots. And this is probably the silliest boss fight in the whole game, because you just Shine Spark it, kill phase 1 instantly, and then screw attack it to kill phase 2 instantly. For some reason, that's in the boss rush mode. I don't know why. And then we're going to have the purple enemy kill, so this is probably the most difficult kill in the game for enemies. We're going to shoot this platform to lower it, and there's a lot of variations of this kill, but Jay's going to be doing the fastest one. So once we take this morph launcher, the enemy's going to spawn, and it's going to be in this little tunnel above. So Jay's going to shove herself up against the wall, and then try to shoot it right as it comes out, and you need to hit as many shots as possible. It's going to crawl right on the same platform as us, and the idea is to hopefully break the faceplate off before it bumps into us. Very nice. And then you can slide under while the faceplate is breaking, and then shoot it on the other side. Extremely well done. I don't think Jay missed a single shot on that.
Circularity on your analog stick is very important, especially for that.
Yeah. Yeah, you need very precise aiming for a lot of these enemy kills. They're the biggest source of needing good aim in this game, for sure. But now we have proper wave beams, so we don't need to do pseudos anymore. Just shoot anything we want. And this also lets us open the wave covers on doors, which will let us get our final upgrade back in Hanubia and then go to finish the game. So it's just going to be some movement back up there, and I think we can fit in some more donations before the end.
Great. I have $50 from Arcanox that says, to the commentators, if you could eat X parasites, what would they taste like? And what's your favorite flavor? I'm really curious to hear that, but chat, I'm also curious to hear what you think X parasites would taste like. I've seen some pretty interesting discussion in the chat already, but go ahead and donate so that I can see what you think they'd taste like. And commentators, what do you think they taste like?
Fruit gummy, red's my favorite.
It has the consistency.
I think they taste like shampoo.
Shampoo.
I was going to say they taste like shampoo, yeah.
They have consistency somewhere between gelatin and guac.
Interesting. And chat, too, I wanted to say that we're still working towards that Haunting Ground frog mode. So if you think that the frog could eat those X parasites, make sure that you go ahead and donate with what you think the flavors are, and to make sure you mark the incentive so that we can see that frog mode activated.
Coming up here is the orange enemy encounter. It actually gets killed in this cutscene, so we're fighting a Chozo warrior instead. You're going to see Jay charging storm missiles while the shield is up. This is pretty much the only use case for storms in a case like this, where you have to wait anyways. And then that lets you skip waiting to... The Chozo warrior will normally do an attack where you have to counter it and that will break the shield, but by using the storm missiles, you can skip that very fast. Very good kill. And this is going to put us in a little cutscene where we walk over to the enemy that we totally killed. And it's going to give us our final item of the run.
That was totally us.
Yeah. Did you see the enemy kill? It was great.
Mm-hmm.
This will give us...
Frame perfect.
Yeah,
For real, though, that is a very climactic cutscene.
Yeah. So this gives us the power bombs, and now we can open pretty much anything in the game. We're going to immediately use it to break some blocks of this next room, and you're going to see Jay's going to be laying it in this next room, even though we need it in the room after this, because they actually keep exploding even as you room transition. So you can just lay it while you're moving, not waste any time. And Jay's going to try to ideally get some power bomb drops here. You only have 2, and the enemies were cooperative and gave the drop. But if you don't get the power bomb drop there, you have to farm for even longer, or you have to take a ammo recharge station, which we really don't want to do. But the RNG was nice. And we're going to do one more speed keep and charge a power bomb while we're doing it. Store the spark. Spark up. through the blocks. This will take us to the sort of final 2 bosses of the game. There's going to be one more right here. This is another Chozo warrior. Same deal with the one we just killed. You need to use storm missiles in between the shield going up. And this one is even tighter because it has more health. So you really don't want to miss any missile shots here. And I think Jay should have it. Very nice. And then just a little bit more shooting it. And it is going to... Oop, just a little bit more. Yep, there we go. Very nice.
Yeah, this boss actually does a lot of damage, so there was a slight chance of dying.
Yeah, any hit would have killed him that health. Yeah, that's one of the things with taking 2 tanks. It is a little bit riskier, but you know, Jay's a pro. You don't need the 3rd tank. And we're heading up to Itarash, and this is a completely unique transport cutscene. It's like the sort of space pod here. Get sent right up, and gonna go fight Ravenbeak, one of Samus's many dads. And we'll find out in a cutscene that's gonna be skipped that Adam was actually Ravenbeak the whole time. So it's probably a good thing we weren't talking to him anyways. But
bad influence.
This is the first I'm hearing of this.
But one more power bomb is going to be laid for this run. And we actually got a power bomb refill from killing the gold Chozo, which is very nice of the game. Oh, unfortunately, rolling through the transition resets the timer. But
yeah, when you get really close to a door transition, sometimes it'll kind of suck you in a little
so
bit.
how Ravenbeak's health is going to work is there's 3 phases. The first phase, he has a sort of aura where you can't damage him directly. The only time you can damage him directly is by getting him to do a counter, or like an attack you can counter, and then damaging him during the cinematic. So you're going to see the cross bombs there do a ton of damage to him, because every explosion can hit him once for as much damage as a missile. He's going to do this attack, which we can then follow up with a counter. The storm missiles can fit in just a little bit more damage, and with enough beams in here, you can see it phases immediately. If you don't phase Ravenbeak on that counter, he will go invincible, and you'll have to wait for another counter to come. Here you can see meleeing and then holding free aim. You can actually go right under the Scatling gun. Normally you need to jump around him with space jump, but it's a cool little animation of boost. That's another one you can try at home. This is very easy to do. You just melee and then hold free aim. And this phase will take about 50 missiles to kill. Jay's doing very well right now. Only missing a couple missiles, and now we're in phase 3 already. And this is what I was getting at with the cross bombs doing a lot of damage. I'm gonna use the power bomb to destroy the sun real quick, but by alternating missiles and cross bombs, you can actually get higher damage because you can lay the cross bomb during the missile cooldown. And Jay's gonna use that to get the highest possible damage here. Ravenbeak's gonna be nice and give us a counter. This is actually one of the few counters worth taking because the damage reduction, there is no damage reduction for this one, and you shoot much faster during the counter, so it's worth it to take in a lot of scenarios. And then one more cinematic counter, a very clean fight. And there's another one of the longest cutscenes, skipped right there. And we're heading on to the last section of the run, Escape. So in that cutscene, Samus has been overtaken by her Metroid powers, so now she's gone all like mutant mode, and she has this cool green suit, and Ravenbeak got taken over by an X, so he's this big scary monster, and luckily we have an overpowered beam to shoot him, and you're going to see Jay's actually waiting to shoot him. And the reason for this is you only need to deal so much damage before Ravenbeak reaches you, so you're going to want to wait because shooting Ravenbeak with the Hyper Beam actually slows him down significantly, so you want to shoot just as little as possible. And that's the big bad boss taken care of, and now it's all that's left is a classic escape sequence. And unfortunately in this section, gaining the Metroid suit has made us lose all our Aeon abilities, so we can no longer flash shift, which means it's just running normally and speed booster. But we do have this super cool Hyper Beam that we can kill anything with. Break any blocks, anything we want. Jay's going to use a Shine Spark to get up here, and then lay a Power Bomb in here to destroy these bomb blocks in the next room as quickly as possible. And then Hyper Beam can take out these blocks. And coming up in this next room, I believe Jay is going to be attempting one of the harder Shine Sparks in the game for a time save at the end. This is the Arc Spark, named after a community member. And by Shine Sparking this slope, jumping off the wall, unfortunate. It's very tough if you don't have Space Jump. You only have Spin Boost, so. But ideally, you would be able to take it all the way here and store this. This is another one of the Shine Spark cutscenes we've skipped. Time will be coming up at the end of this room here as soon as the cutscene starts. So, just a little bit more movement up this run, or this room. And time. Well done.
Thank you.
That was
a
good.
really good run.
Yeah. Do we know what the time was on that? I don't have my timer up, so.
Sure, the time that we have is 1:19:49.
What?
That's a 119.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's a PB.
That's my first sub 120.
That's
Congrats.
That's
an incredibly good run.
Good job.
Yeah.
That's wild.
World class.
Wow.
Did we meet the
Congrats.
Screw Attack short boost incentive?
We did meet that incentive.
Fantastic. Let's get on it then.
Wow.
Oh, that's so nice. I knew.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I knew it was either going to be really good or really bad once I realized I forgot my timer.
Well, you did fantastically.
They called Jay the consistinator.
This is profile
Just
6.
switching over to the save file real quick for the exhibition.
Mm-hmm. Just
Yeah,
Metroid.
you only get 3 save files per profile, so a lot of runners have like 10
Yep.
profiles.
Just Metroid Dread. All right, so let me go into a little bit of detail about this glitch. This is called the Screw Attack Short Boost glitch, and it's one of the hardest variants of what we call short boosting, which is when you charge your speed booster while moving backward. This was initially discovered by a community member named Arcandy and worked into our any % NMG run. So the Screw Attack short boost route is separate from our other route that we have for any % NMG. But I'll just sort of show this off real quick. Let me get up there. I'm gonna take a checkpoint in case I do die.
I can offer a small correction. Short boost was found by mainly a Japanese runner named Orange, I believe.
It was orange.
Arcandy helped with making a tutorial and stuff, and also some initial research. Shoutouts to both those people. They're both very smart.
Yep. So, as you can see, this is a cold room, and we have a blob here, and up here is Screw Attack. We don't have any jump upgrades, so we can't really do this right now. But with Screw Attack Short Boost, we can come over here to this 15 tile-ish ledge, and just sort of like execute that trick so that we get the speed booster charge that we need in order to pull this off.
Yeah, the idea is
So-
to use a Shine Spark to get up the water.
Yep. So I'm going to start by holding this button to charge my speed boost, and then I'm going to come out and get into a very specific position using melee and free aim, and that should give me the space I need to pull it off. There are sort of 2 variants of this. One of them is one of them is pause buffered. This became a lot more lenient now that we know that there's something in the game called map lag, where if you go into the map, you go to the global map, go to another area. This gives you about, and when you unpause, it gives you about 7 or so frames, and whatever you were doing during those frames, it's just +7. So like it makes the speed booster like 7 frames more lenient in order to charge it. So I'm gonna show this off real quick. Didn't get it. I sort of liken it to pulling an espresso shot. There we go.
Very nice.
Oh, unbuffered.
Unbuffered. And then you do this, and you sort of aim like this, and you come up here.
Very nice.
And yep. Then you have screw attack very early, about 38 minutes into the run.
Yeah, and getting screw attack at this point means you don't need to go down the elevator that freezes the world, so you can skip all of that section that we did earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It's very fast.
All the robos are trivial now. It's very nice. It's a very good trick to get a very good upgrade. Does anyone want to add anything?
It's a pretty hard trick. You have to have very specific timing on all the inputs. You have to like sort of cancel the flash at the right time, start holding forward at the right time. It's pretty precise, and the fact you got it without the map lag is kind of insane.
Yeah, that is kind of wild.
The way that we cancel the flash is we do a crouch, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah, you won't see a crouch, but it is pressing down.
Yeah. So, screw attack short boost exhibition. That's it. Okay. Sure, yeah. So we'd like to thank, of course, the Metroid Dread speedrunning community. It's a great place to be if you want to learn this game. We're very helpful. We'd like to thank. And we're good at teaching everything down from the fundamentals to the toughest tricks that are like triple frame perfect. I'd also like to give a shout out to my husband, Shell, to GDQ and Frame Patels for hosting this event, to my commentators, and to the National Women's Law Center. We raise a lot of money for them. Does anybody have anything they want to add?
Can I give a quick shout out to you for the incredible run, the massive PB?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I was going to say the same thing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Very good. This is very well said. Community's awesome. You want to see more Metroid, come join. We have weekly races and stuff. It's great.
Absolutely. Thank you.